a SPIA. Yes, this one kind of trips up everything else because this is the initial concept of the annuity. So when we were talking about like the ancient times, yeah, this one goes way back. But the thing with the SPIA is this is essentially your pension. And what happens when you have a pension? You pay in money, so you give them a lump sum of money, and then in turn, they take the lump sum of money. You never get it back. In turn, you receive a monthly payment, right? That's your pension. So Frank, for example, is collecting an annuity payment from his pension from the military, right, Frank?
Yes.
Yes, so retired from military, but you're not going to get a lump sum from that. You're get a monthly payment.
Right.
That's funded by a SPIA, right?
Well, how the government,
saves that. It's based off the high three at your last 36 paychecks, last 3 years, and they, how they save for it and pay it back to me.
That's up to
That's up to the government.
Yeah, it's based off of the same concept as a single premium annuity, a SPIA. Single premium annuity. You give one lump sum and then you get a payment back until you pass. Now, the problem with those is, and I've used them before, they're a great strategy, especially when you're segmenting money. So how I've used a SPIA before is that, say a person retires, they have $3 million. We take the first $1 million and create a SPIA, which provides them income for 10 years. So over the 10-year period, they're getting all of their income from the SPIA, and it's a substantial amount of money. And then after 10 years, it's over. That money, that $1 million is gone. That monthly income is gone. But over the course of the 10 years, we've had the ability to take that other $2 million and turn it back into 3. So now all the income that they spent during that first 10 years, now they're going back in and their other assets have been able to accumulate and grow back what they spent over here. And that was a fantastic strategy and it worked flawlessly. And so then after 10 years of retiring and living maintaining their lifestyle, they came back right at square one as they were when they retired. It's a great strategy. That's how a SPIA could be useful. But the numbers have to line up. The numbers don't lie. It doesn't always work and they're not as common. However, they are pretty simple. You give a lump sum of money, you get payments back. What's another one, Frank?
Well, too, I want to mention that, we are totally independent and not bound to offer only one product by one company or even a group of products from one company. We do the research to find the best companies offering the best products, not
exactly.
So that's just one.
Yeah, none of the insurance, we don't work for the insurance companies. We work for our clients. So if you come to us, we're going to go find the best company. And typically what we do is we're going to run different scenarios and get different proposals and get the top payouts for you and then work through that strategy. So another one, thank you for that input. And another one is the variable annuity, okay? The variable, I talked about this one prior. It's my least favorite. It's Susie Orman's least favorite. It's a lot of people's least favorite. It's a lot of people that say, I hate annuities. They're talking about these types of annuities. What is it? Ken Fisher, he's got all these ads about annuities on there. And variable annuities, and again, I encourage you, go check your statement right now. See what kind of annuity you have. If it's a variable annuity, then there is a very, very good chance you are paying a lot in fees. First of all, one of the reasons that I'm not a fan is because of the fee structure. And really, I will call it the hidden fee structure. Because they'll say, oh, what's the fee? Oh, it's the fee for your rider. There could be a fee for your rider, which is probably for death benefit, increase your death benefit, or maybe it is for some sort of income. But that rider is usually 0.25 to 1%. That's the fee. Okay, well, that's not bad. That's competitive. That's not a lot. Okay, but so they answered your question. That's your fee. But what they didn't tell you is that there are fees within the funds that are within the annuity. So you're paying a fee for the annuity. Now you're paying fees for the funds that are inside the annuity, which all have different ranges and they can be very high. And let's just say on average 1 to 1.5% of those funds. And then so that's the fund fees. Now you have mortality and expense ratios. Those are usually 1 to 1.5%. On average, these variable annuities probably range anywhere from 2.5 to like 3.5%, and that's me guessing. But that is very serious charges going into an account. So you give them $100,000. Think about how much money you have to make year over year before you're even profiting. So variable annuities, another reason. This is the ugly of the annuities. One is because just like when people realized after the stock market was doing great, variable annuities are great. Why? Because they're going up with the stock market. Everybody likes to see their returns go up. However, what happens when the stock market goes down? So does your account. So you're not protected by the downside. There's not downside protection, right? And so you're being charged all these fees. There's no downside protection. And let's say, oh, I do not want to partake in this market. You see your account value down. You want to cash it in. Well, now you have to pay the surrender charges. Because remember, annuities come with surrender charges. It's a charge to get out of it, similar to like a penalty on a CD. So if you know your account value is going down and you want to just move to cash, or maybe you want to take the money and buy a house or a boat, you have to pay that charge, which could be up to 10%. Depending on the contract you have, it could be even more. I'm not sure. But these are layers of reasons. And for me, I say, well, what is the point if it's not going to provide you downside protection? Why are you paying all of these fees? You might as well just be in the market, right? Have a good managed account and be in the market. Now, if you are younger, let's say you're in your 40s and you look at these as an option to fund your retirement when you're 60, there could be a possibility there where maybe I could get on board with it. But I'm telling you, if you have a variable annuity, come in, call right now, 772-221-1100, or call the office at Frank, 772-872-6332. You can go to mindiemolina.com, MINDIEMOLINA, and there's lots of little forms you can fill out on our website. But the variable annuity, any input on that, on the annuities I've covered so far?
Well, I think too, we just want to clarify too that we're not saying you should, you can't or shouldn't be
In annuities and the market, that's not what we're saying.
Like having one or the other?
And right, it's not a one or the other.
Exactly.
But that every client has their own needs, and a well-structured annuity may be a good portion of a portfolio for some clients, is what we're saying, as it may fit into their planning for retirement.
Yeah, if you have an advisor that wants you to just go all in annuities, because I've talked about this before, different types of advisors, you can depict on what they're going to recommend to you. Okay, so if you have an advisor that is only licensed to do securities, well, guess what? They're going to want you to do 100% of your money. They're going to want to be in.
annuities are probably a bad
And they're going to say annuities are horrible. Exactly. Why? Because they can't offer them. They can't make money on them. And then if you are with an insurance-only advisor, which means that they aren't licensed to offer securities, then guess what they're going to want you to be in?
Annuities.
All
Exactly.
all annuities, insurance products. They're going to want as much of your money that they can put in there. They're going to want in there. And then there's the dually licensed advisor.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes. Like Frank Borelli, like Mindie Molina, we're duly licensed. What does that mean?
We'll find the plan.
We
that
do
fits your
both.
needs.
Yes, and you use these tools to create that break even. So where I think annuities are used the best, and now I'll transition right into the fixed indexed annuity, because that one is my favorite. And that is the one that I recommend the most. And that is the one that is up 79% in invested money since the beginning, since 2021. So there's a reason why money is pouring into these, and that's because it offers downside protection. It has low fees or no fees, zero fees, right? None. And downside protection, and it gives you an opportunity to participate in the upside
No
of the
fees if
market.
you don't cash it out.
Well, that's considered a surrender charge. Now, what is the worst? If I said to you, let's talk about the surrender charges, because they do matter, and you want to know what they are. But if you use the annuity the right way, we don't want you to change your mind. Why would you change your mind? We're building out a really perfect plan, and until you believe it is the perfect plan, then we're not going to do any invest in anything. Yeah, because once you go into the annuity, we want you to know what it's for. And if you end up changing your minds, that means that we didn't do our job. We didn't do a good job of building the right fit for you, or there was a really big life change, which could happen. It's not ever happened. Thank God. Anything I recommend and have put into place actually has come to implementation, has not come back.
If you'd like to call into the Mindie Molina Show, you can call us at 772-221-1100 with your questions, comments, stories about your annuities or other investment stories you'd like to share. Call us. We're live here on WCNO, 772-221-1100.
Yes. So, this strategy of the fixed indexed annuity, one of the reasons that I think it is so crucial and so popular, and we're seeing so much more money pour into it, is because of what I said, the downside protection and being able to participate when the market is going up. So remember that story where I was talking about, I walked in with the guy and he had all of these annuity contracts laying around and statements. And it became very clear to me this was not a bad deal, because I was going in home after home and meeting with people, and tears were pouring. You know, when you're sitting with someone that's 75 years old and they're crying, asking you to help them because literally their nest egg just is down 40%. You know, they have $1 million, now they have 600,000, and they have no idea what the next statement is going to say. It's too much stress. But when you sit with a family and they are bragging about the fact that they haven't lost any money, you perk up. You know, you're like, well, I want to see what is going on. Just like the people from the Great Depression, when the pastor was saying, oh, well, I haven't lost any money, I'm still getting my income, and he's feeding the masses. Everybody wants to know how. And that's how I became involved with indexed annuities and became educated, because again, digging and asking questions. And I called on anyone who had a contract. I would call and ask all the questions on there. Call the company. You can do that. You can call the 1-800 number. You don't have to call your advisor. You can call the 1-800 number on your statement and ask them these questions. What am I paying in mortality fees? What am I paying in fund fees? What am I paying in rider fees? Do I have a variable annuity? Does my annuity have any cash value, or am I only receiving payments? There's tons of questions that you can ask.
Lifetime, will I receive payments for my lifetime?
Yeah, when will my income end? When can it start? Does it provide long-term care benefits? Does it provide extra money for a death benefit?
We've done three-way calls to help potential clients or even friends with these type of questions, where we can be on the line to help answer those questions. If you need help of us, you can certainly reach us at the office or here through the radio station.
772?
872-6332. You can reach Mindie Molina, Investments and Insurance. This is the Mindie Molina Show. Mindie Molina, Investments and Insurance. Our office number is 772-872-6332. If you'd like to call into the program today, we're live for the next 10 minutes. 772-221-1100.
So why is it really, really important to have downside protection, especially in retirement? One of the really big, probably one of the most important reasons is that you are taking distributions from your investments now. If you're in your working years, you are not taking, more than likely, you're not taking distributions. You're accumulating, you're depositing money, you're building. But once you go into retirement and you start pooling money, you start making withdrawals to pay your bills, to live your life, and there's a down market, Well, guess what happens? You have to sell off more positions to meet your income need month after month. Our bear market is up to like 13 months now or something more. The average is like 9 months. So imagine for 9 straight months, you have to sell off more positions than you normally would for 9 months.
Like the 4%, right? I think 4% is a
Industry standard for how much I can.
Yeah, that's an
withdraw
industry
from my
standard, but
portfolio to keep it afloat.
that's kind of like that 60-40 rule we talked about. That's no longer
But if
as
you're down
reliable.
20 or 30% and you're
Yeah.
still
Having to withdraw your 4%, now you have less principal.
That's how retirements blow up. That's how people run out of money.
right, this is where annuities may be for some folks a good fit as a part of their strategy.
It is.
To secure income.
And the income part of it is so important because just like the wealthy side in the European countries, they were saying, how did the high society, ultra wealthy people lock in their lifestyle income? They realized, just like the royals, do you think Harry and what's her name? Harry and Meghan have an annuity? I have to call and ask them. Do you think they'll answer? So these annuity payments, it's like when people win the lottery, what would you do? I would take the annuity and take the lifetime income. But you get the lifetime income locks in your lifestyle. So what we like to do, going back to that being duly licensed, okay, and not just putting all your money in annuity or putting all your money in the market, I like to say, okay, how much money do we need to shore up your income that's going to lock in your lifestyle? So you're living at this lifestyle that costs you X amount of money. Let's say you're spending $10,000 a month. How much money do we need to, because think about this, you're spending $10,000 a month in retirement. We have to factor in inflation, but we also have Social Security income that's coming in, and let's assume there's 2 of you, so you have that dual income coming in. Perhaps you have a small pension from a previous employer, or maybe you both have a pension, but we still have a gap, and maybe that gap is $4,000. So now we say, okay, how much money do we need to set aside and lock into this annuity that's going to guarantee $4,000 a month so that their lifestyle is locked in no matter what? The money's in the bank.
That's why it's important to know your budget, right?
Right.
So how do you know how much you need to have in retirement if I don't know how much money I'm spending monthly or annually?
And let me ask you this, Frank. How many times do we meet with people and they tell us, this is how much money is?
This much. And then when we sit down and do an expense analysis, a detailed one, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
People leave out a lot of annual costs or quarterly costs to their budgets.
Yes.
Maintenance costs, HOAs. Sometimes they forget about those costs as they need to be included.
Because you're still going to be paying them once you retire. You still have to pay them once you retire.
More times than not, the number is off.
It is. And it's usually significantly more.
A third to a
it's
quarter,
rarely less. Yeah.
25 to 30% lower than what they actually is.
That expense analysis is so important.
Budget we're talking about.
Yeah, it really just shows you and shows us exactly what we anticipate that you will have to spend when you're retired.
These products are not only for individuals but could be for businesses.
Yes.
So we're not just speaking to individuals, but businesses may use these products.
Certainly,
Annuities.
as well as equities.
Yeah, and the biggest factor here is locking in that income. That way, the rest of the money that you have set over here can be invested tactically according to what is going on with market trends, right? So we can just focus on growing that money to the best of our ability, protecting it, growing it. We don't have to worry that when the market's down, we're going to have to sell off positions to meet your income need, because your income need is met no matter what. That $4,000 gap versus us for 9 straight months selling off positions so that you get your $4,000 a month or your $48,000 a year, it's already taken care of.
So another way of saying what you're saying is annuities, since many more and more employers these days are not providing employees with pensions, with retirement plans. When you've saved and built nest eggs, you can create your own
pension plan, your own income plan in retirement through annuities as a portion, or it could be a significant part of your portfolio.
So, Frank, let me ask you this question. So we have people that come in and they want to talk about getting dividends, right? They want dividends off of their investments, and that's what they're going to rely on for income. And the average person is, retired. We're talking about a 30-year span, okay? That we got to provide income for them. Over that 30 years, if we only use that strategy of dividends, and collecting money off of the investments and not using an annuity that's guaranteed, what do you think is more likely? Do you think that there's going to be a market cycle in that 30 years? So let's say they retire at 60 and they live to be 90. What do you think that things are going to change in the investment world, that they're not going to be able to produce enough income and that they are going to have to dig into principal within that 30 years in order to meet their income need, especially with inflation and knowing that the income may increase over time?
It's much more complicated and much more risk. There would be much more risk in the dividend portfolio, obviously, because the insurance
There's no
product,
guarantee.
Insurance product would be guaranteed.
And the insurance product, if we did the same strategy with a fixed indexed annuity and provided the income that way, and the thing about the fixed indexed annuity is that you still have cash value. Okay, so the money that you don't use in retirement still is there and goes to your heirs. So you still hold this cash value that is there for legacy, for death benefit. And if there's a life change and you decide, hey, I no longer need the income, then the cash value is there. But if going back to that scenario where you're relying on dividends and interest to fill your income need, then if you use an annuity to do that, and you still maintain a cash value and you're getting that $4,000 a month deposit to cover that gap, and it's guaranteed for the rest of your life, it is guaranteed for the rest of your life, meaning it doesn't matter what happens in the market. The risk of what is going to happen over the next 30 years, how is the market going to impact your income? And when the market's down, where's your income going to come from? And if you're pulling income from your investments, how is that going to affect your investments when the market goes back up? All of these things are no longer a problem.
These annuities can also be designed for husband and wives.
Yes, you can get joint payouts, and your IRA can be in an annuity. Any type of funds can be invested into an annuity. And the other thing I will say is annuities now provide long-term care benefits. So if you're retired and you have, say you're getting that $4,000 a month from your retirement annuity, well, that income would essentially double. So in the months that you needed care, and it's as simple, there's not a qualification. It's very simple. You just get a letter from your doctor a form that we have them sign, and now that $4,000 a month becomes $8,000 a month. So you have
certain products.
Yeah, the majority of the fixed indexed ones are going to offer that as an added feature and a doubling of that income, and that's so huge especially because there's no medical requirements for that. Long-term care insurance it's difficult to get at certain ages, or if you have health issues. This is a way to fund your retirement income, fill your income gap, and provide long-term care benefits as well.
Making your dollar do more than one thing.
So what are some of the best companies that offer fixed indexed annuities? It's a loaded question. There's so many. There are so many. So up to just $28 billion in one quarter in 2022. I mean, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars are invested into these types of annuities. And in the 90s, when they came out, the fixed indexed annuity, it went from 2 companies that initially offered it, and by the end of 1 year, there were 50 companies offering. And now, I mean, hundreds. And what we do is get our team to constantly investigate what are the best companies with the best ratings, because we do want to keep your money safe, and that's the whole point of a fixed indexed annuity. So we appreciate you listening. This has been a great show talking about annuities. I know sometimes a lot of advisors talk bad about them, but you need to know the truth about them and what they can offer. And you want to be with an advisor that's going to give you all the options, because at the end of the day, it is up to you. And we appreciate you so much, and we hope you have a blessed day in Jesus' name. And remember, God loves you, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.